Hey guys, what's going on? It is Dan Lags, and welcome back to episode number 9 of the 2018 HGTV Dream Home Let's Build, guys. Today is going to be the final episode of this year's Dream Home Let's Build series. So we're going to wrap everything up today and get this thing ready for a house tour. So my plan for this video is just to work on the backyard and the landscaping to wrap things up. The interior is pretty much wrapped up. It's ready to be toured. So today we're pretty much going to work on everything landscaping related and try to see what we can accomplish in this episode. This house has quite a bit of landscaping to still be done, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to finish it all today, but I will say that I'm going to try to get as much done as I can, and we're going to build some of the major features. So there is a kind of like a patio fire pit area off to the left over here. And we also have another sitting area with an awning space pretty much straight out from the, I guess, basement. So that's what we're going to build today. I'm also going to do a little bit more landscaping by putting in some coarse dirt and adding in some more shrubbery and things like that. So let's get started. I'm just going to quickly get rid of some of these trees here. Just going to break the trunks just so the leaves start to decay a little bit, because these trees are kind of in the way. I don't know if they're going to be 100% in the way, but I would like to move them a little bit. So what we're going to do today, we're going to start off and we're going to create this little fire pit area over on this side. And I want to just kind of make sure that I get this thing far enough away from the house to where it's in a solid spot. And we'll kind of go from there. So last episode, guys, today, we're going to finish things off. Again, I'm not going to finish everything today, but I'm going to try to get most of it done. Alright, so what we want to do with this is basically build like a circle, essentially. So I'm really not 100% sure how I want to execute this. So we have to kind of run another pathway across here, and that's going to kind of connect to a doghouse, okay? Then from here we kind of have to run the circle. So if that's going to go there, I say we do something like this. We'll go 2 and then 1 again. And we'll probably do the same thing over here. We'll go 2, then 1, couple of, just trying to find a way to formulate this the best I can without it looking weird, and still trying to connect the pathways. We'll try something like this instead. But thank you guys for tuning in to the final part of the series. I know it took me a long time to finally get through this series, but we are here today. We're ready to wrap it up, so we're going to make this a solid episode today. Alright, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go like this. I'm going to place 2 there, go 3. And I think that's what I'm going to do for my little circle fireplace over here is what we're going to be doing. I kind of want to make it a little bit bigger, so I'm actually just going to add a little bit of a double stack on each one of the edges, just to give it a little bit more. I think that's going to be good. Yeah, that works out. Alright, cool. So we basically want to just fill this in with the cobblestone. Just get it filled in. We'll put the fireplace right in the middle. Fire pit, fireplace, whatever you want to call it. Outdoor fireplace, outdoor seating. This house has a lot of like really nice views of this this lake in Washington. So one thing I've noticed about this is there's so many sitting areas. They have one on the kitchen balcony, the basement, patio, out here, and then there's like another one we're about to build. There's like 4 different sitting areas at any given point. So they really accentuate like the views of this house is kind of the theme that I'm starting to pick up here a little bit. There's going to be a doghouse right there. Just keep that in mind. Probably going to do something like that to curve that little pathway. And then everything else in here is just going to be grass. However, we are going to be taking a line of coarse dirt and running this across over here. So I'm actually going to kind of try to connect this now the best I can. Let's do 2, 3, something like this. Run this across and connect this to like right there. I think that'll be good. That'll look good. Yeah, that works. All right, so all that space in, we're just going to get filled in with coarse dirt. I'm going to do that off camera in just a second. But first, let's add this fire pit. So we want this right in the middle here. And I want to have probably just like a 1x1 of fire. We don't have to have it be large by any stretch, because, of course, with these blocks, it looks larger than it is. So we'll just do it like that, real simple. I'm going to grab myself some netherrack, and let's get some flint and steel, light this thing up. And there we go. There's our little fire pit there. Perfect. And I noticed that in the pictures I'm referencing, there are like some cups and some plates there. So for people who are having some snacks, I guess, chilling out by the fire. So I guess I can put a couple of pressure plates, a couple of cups there. Hopefully they don't melt. And then we just have a bunch of chairs basically around this. Another thing that I want to add as well, some slabs. And I might even just do this as a full block. But there's kind of like a little buffer wall over here on the side. And I think I want to add that. So we'll just do that. And that's how that'll work. And then the rest of this is going to be chairs. So, you know, I can do this in a couple different ways. I was thinking like acacia stairs is my chairs. A little bit of a rhyme there. Do something like that, kind of surrounding the fire pit. I think that looks pretty solid. I was also thinking about doing a little bit larger chairs, so maybe I'll come back later and change that. But that's good for now. And then now what we really have to do is just take all of this and swap it out for coarse dirt. So let's do that. Alright guys, so I'm back. I went ahead and filled in some of that coarse dirt. Also, I built the doghouse and planted an extra tree. I'm going to show you guys a really cool angle of the backyard right now on the screen. I love this angle. This is kind of the one I've been basing it off of. And man, what I gotta say, look at that grass. I mean, I feel like the coarse dirt part, which in real life is more of like a wood chip mix, I guess you could say, that it really accentuates the color of that grass. Look at how green that grass is. That's awesome. That is some green grass right there. Can't replicate that green grass in Minecraft, but boy oh boy, that looks good. So anyway, this is what we got so far. We kind of have that whole left side built out a little bit. I'm gonna plant more stuff on the coarse dirt later on. We're gonna just kind of spam that with stuff. So now we're gonna build the right side over here, which is the, I guess, awning space. It's just kind of like another sitting area essentially. And we're gonna start building that right now. So the way we want to do this one is I'm gonna run out a line of cobblestone pretty much straight across here. And this is gonna pretty much line up with like halfway down to the doghouse, probably about right there. Will work pretty good. Run that across, and then I'm gonna turn that back this way. So one thing you'll notice about this house is there is an elevation to this portion, and there's a staircase that goes down on the side. We're not really adding that stuff just because of the elevation of the world here in Minecraft. You know, it just didn't really work out with that. So that's just something to keep in mind. All right, so another thing we want to do is expand this cobblestone out probably a couple more blocks past the support pillars for the balcony above. We're going to replace this grass here with some cobblestone, fill it in, and then we'll go from there. I'm going to make a little bit of a curvature to it. We're going to connect everything and then start building this awning. So again, I'm focusing on backyard today, guys. The front yard is pretty much good to go. I'm going to replace everything to the left of this line of logs here with coarse dirt as well. So if you kind of see down over there, we kind of have some coarse dirt coming through. So essentially what I'm going to do is just turn all of this right here into more coarse dirt. And we're going to fill it in with a bunch of different things to kind of finish off the side yard over here. That's basically what it is. There's not a very large side yard, and there really isn't that many good angles of it on the website for HGTV. So doing a little bit of my own thing here with this, and I am taking liberties with the backyard in general and with the landscaping in general, and even with this house in general, maybe more than I have in previous years, just to make it work for Minecraft, because this has been a tough conversion, as I've said a couple of times. So yeah, I'm just going to finish that up later. I'm just going to basically run it all the way down pretty much to the far end, pretty much to the water, essentially. And all of this space here, you might be wondering what I'm doing with this. I'm going to fill it in, and that stuff is going to be done off camera. Okay, so let's continue. And what I'm going to do is run some cobblestone probably about 4 blocks past, 5 blocks past maybe, and then start to curve it. Actually, that's probably a little bit too far. Maybe if I do that right there, that'll work a little bit better as kind of like the curvature of that. That looks good. And then what I can do is run this straight down and connect it to the end. There we go. So that's kind of our space, you know, basically blocked out a little bit. So we can kind of get an idea of what we're doing here. We're going to have a grill right here in this space. Keep that in mind. So let's see. What do we want to do with this next? I'm trying to decide exactly how I want to connect everything, because I'm going to be doing kind of like a railing, more or less. And it's going to be something similar to this as what we have up here. So let me just kind of run this down and kind of see what I can come up with here. So we're going to kind of turn this, and it's going to basically run straight down 1 block away from the edge, going all the way around. Basically like that. And this is going to run back this way. As a matter of fact, now that I'm thinking about it, I might actually want to run this right up against the edge. I think it might actually look a little bit better. Give me a little bit more space to work with. So I think we'll do that instead. Make a quick adjustment. And what I really should do is just replace all this grass here with cobblestone before we continue any further. Now, it isn't really cobblestone. It's more of like a wood, I guess you could say. So it's different from the pathway. And I suppose if we were using a different block choice, I don't know what I'd even go with. Because there really isn't a gray wood in the City Advanced. That would be something I would definitely add. I'd probably swap out like jungle wood for a gray wood, or maybe even make acacia woods texture jungle, and then maybe make acacia a grayer block. Like the texture of acacia with a gray block would be really nice. It would be really helpful for this build. So we're going to use cobblestone instead, just because it's closest in terms of color. So we're going to run this down, and then we're going to turn this here. And then it's going to just run straight back to the pathway. Stop it right there. Okay. So that's our little railing, I guess you could say. And I'm going to make this 2 blocks high. We're doing the railing exactly the same as what we have on the balcony above. So 2 blocks high of black glass panes with a lining of gray carpet on top. And we're just keeping it consistent. I don't necessarily think it's the best way to do it, but we're keeping it consistent. All right, so we'll run this down. We'll put in the gray on top of that, and then we can move forward here. Press forward with our next task here. All right, so let's go ahead and run this down. Connect this all the way back to the pillar. And there we go right there. Okay. So the next thing we want to do is add some support for this awning that we're about to put in. So the support for this is going to be right here, and then we're going to slide over to about right here, and then same thing right here. So that'll come through. I actually have to, I don't have a great angle right now, but I have to see how far that railing is going to extend. It might stop earlier than that. Keep that in the back burner there. So that's how high this is going to go. We'll probably make this, I'm trying to decide how high I want this to be. I think probably 6 blocks or 5 blocks. I think the same line as I guess the balcony above would work. So that's the same line there. So that'll do. So let's go ahead and replace the rest of this here with some cobblestone. We'll get it filled in, and we're going to add some couches underneath of this, and we're actually going to build it. I'm going to do something with it. I'm not 100% sure. I think I might go with some slabs. There's kind of like this awning thing that I don't really know how I'm going to recreate in Minecraft, so I might try something else with it to make it look cool. I have a couple of ideas, a couple of tricks up my sleeve that I want to give a shot. Alright, so let's go ahead and just get this cobblestone filled in. And also keep in mind there is going to be an opening right here in this space. And that is going to be like a little stairway down. Now that's where it is on the house, and I can make adjustments to this. So one thing I can do is break this level and lower it a little bit, so I can maybe go from 2 blocks in there and do something like that. And this will we can break everything here and just basically lower the level of this part of the terrain by 1, so we actually can put a staircase here that'll drop down to a lower point. And then I'm probably going to build some sort of dock or something, some sort of boat area, I guess, down here. That's at least my plan for now. I don't know exactly what kind of thing I'm going to do with that, but that'll be off-camera stuff. So just got to figure out like what I want to do with the rest of this space, because there's a big slope coming off of this thing right here on the actual house. And because of the terrain that we built on, we just didn't have the space for it. I mean, this house has just got such a crazy elevation to it. It would have required a really, really specific biome setup in order to create this house exactly the way I wanted to without serious terraforming. So it was one of those things where I wanted to build it next to all the rest of the HGTV dream homes, so I had to make some compromises there. So that'll be our little staircase drop down right there, real simple. And as a matter of fact, what we're going to do with this is extend this little railing out 1 block like that. And that's how we'll do that. All right, cool. So next up, we want to create the top of this awning. And we're going to do this with the gray concrete. We're basically going to run this down and connect it across everything like that. And that looks really cool. However, we still need to add more to this. So what I'm going to do is run a line straight down the middle there. And then we want to decide how exactly we want to replicate this, these shades, I guess, these awning shades. And I was thinking about doing something like this. I honestly think that's a pretty solid way to do it. Maybe not the best way, but it looks pretty similar, especially from an aerial view. Something like that. I think that's pretty solid. I think that's how I'm going to do it. And there's still plenty of light under here. It's not like it's completely dark. So it works. And that's what we're going to roll with here. And then I'm going to go ahead and replace the rest of this grass here with some cobblestone. And then we had to add some sitting areas under here. We'll take a step back and see what we have. And see what we can do next. Alright, so let's see. Next thing we want to do is add some sitting areas. And I'm trying to decide how I want to do these too. So they're basically couches out here. And I don't know, like, I was thinking about using some polished diorite for this. Just kind of mixing it up a little bit. And I was also going to definitely add some quartz as the stairs. And then even use some banners as well. Kind of mix that in. So I was thinking about going 4 blocks across on each one of these sides here. Making sure I have enough space. So not really giving myself a ton of space here, and unfortunately with the way panes work, if I connect this, that's going to kind of make that look a little bad. And then over here, this is kind of going right up against the wall so that you wouldn't be able to slip through to go down the stairs. So I'm in a little bit of a predicament here in terms of size. So maybe I need to expand the size of this thing and bring it out a couple extra blocks. That way I have more space. So you know what? I'm going to do that. So here's how this is going to work. I'm going to take this out an extra 3 blocks in width. And we're going to put cobblestone in here. I'm going to replace the railing. And I'm going to move the pillars over a little bit. It shouldn't take more than a few minutes. So let me go ahead and do that real quick and we'll continue. Alright guys, I'm back and made the adjustments to improve this a little bit. So I made it 4 blocks wider, made it significantly wider. That way we have a lot more space to work with here. And what I did, built the couches. Now pretty much we have to place the table in the middle and we're going to be pretty much done with this little portion here. And I'm liking it so far. Kind of looking at it from some angles in the distance, and I'm loving the backyard of this house. Obviously, we still have that whole space with the water there that needs to be cleaned up, but loving that space of the house. I think it looks really good, and I think when this house is completely done, it's gonna be on par. You know, as far as what I think when it comes to the previous backyards and all these houses. I think that the 2016 home was my personal favorite back here. With the pool area, and I made this little pond back here. This was actually a waterfront house, but there was no water, so we built ourselves a little pond back here. And that's kind of where I'm at when it comes to trying to match that level. So I mean, last year we had this over here, which again was another really nice backyard, and it's coming along. So it's not quite there yet, but we've definitely made some progress. So let's spend a couple more minutes here at the end of this final episode to kind of wrap things up. And for this, I am going to do some gray carpet, and I'm going to get out some of those end rods. I can't even remember what those things are. Here we go. And we're also going to need some string. I'm going to build a little table here. Let's go 4 end rods right there. And we're going to place some carpet, of course, on top of those. And build ourselves a nice table here in between these couches for the outside, so you can eat on that table. There's also going to be more sitting areas underneath of here with the grill in this space. And I guess I can build the grill right now, since this is something that I definitely want to kind of show off a little bit in terms of the ideas for this one. Those observer blocks are always so tempting in terms of like how I would use those. Isn't there another one of those? I could have sworn that there was like another block similar to that in terms of its texture. Maybe not. That might be the only one. I was thinking about using that as the grill but I think I'm gonna go with just some sandstone just to mix it up a little bit. So let's build this. This is gonna be right there, 3 blocks, 1, 2, 3 from there, 2 blocks from there. So we want to place this here. That's good. Place some slabs on the back of that, and then we're gonna grab our activator rails, place a couple of those there, and just like that, we've got ourselves our grill in that space. I might even just fancy this up a little bit, take up this space a little bit more, place an extra block in the back, and place an extra sandstone block there to kind of fill in that space a little bit more. I love it. That's great. And we're gonna have sitting areas down here. So yeah, I'm gonna wrap up everything else, guys, in between episodes. Well, not in between episodes, in between the tour and this final episode. So what I'm gonna be finishing up here, we're gonna add some more detail over in this space, more shrubbery, more, you know, ferns, tall grass, stuff like that, and all throughout the coarse dirt area. I'm gonna fill in this whole space with coarse dirt. I'm gonna fill in all this space probably with coarse dirt as well, and again, just more detail, more shrubbery. I might even build a little dock back here on the edge of the water. I'm not sure about that one yet. And for the front yard, it's pretty much good to go. There's not a ton of detail out here. I'm pretty happy with this. I might plant a couple trees or something like that. But other than that, I think we're pretty much ready to go. And with that, guys, that's going to wrap up the 2018 HGTV Dream Home Let's Build. Thank you guys for tuning into this series. We've got 9 parts. I think this was 1 or 2 parts longer than last year's episode. A little bit of a bigger house, a little bit more of a challenge. So again, I'm going to finish up the things I mentioned off camera, and we're going to tour this thing in a couple of days. So thank you guys for tuning in. I'll see you guys on the tour video. Drop a like if you enjoyed it. It's been Dan Lags. I'll see you on the next one. Peace out.